what is Tesla worth? If you were willing to sell it at $300 or $400 and you're buying it now, what is it worth in 5 years?
$2,000. We're in print on that.
$2,000.
Yes.
After Q1 deliveries came out, Cathie Wood doubled down and she bought a lot more Tesla stock. She just explained on TV why she's still so bullish.
The price action in Tesla, which has fallen on the back of worse than expected numbers. And I'm just so curious what you think is happening at Tesla right now, and whether, and there are some analysts out there that now have gotten bearish or starting to believe that we are at some kind of big inflection point.
Right. So I think a couple of things are going on. First, and Elon's been talking about this in the quarterly calls, the consumer is under pressure. There is, even though these economic statistics are coming out and saying everything's just fine, you listen to these company reports one by one, most of them do not sound like these economic statistics are suggesting. And I think Tesla's been telegraphing the high rates. They've been cutting prices to offset them. And they will continue to cut prices. So I think there's economic weakness. There has been a bit of a backlash, I would say, and a pause, because you do have GM and Ford saying, wait a minute, we're going to take a pause here ourselves because we can't do this profitably. By the way, that's a positive for Tesla, you know, to have the competition doing this. And Tesla's just going full steam ahead. So I do think part of it's economic. And you can use all these other excuses. But if that is the case, what's going to happen, we believe, during the next 5 years, and you know that's our investment time horizon, we think the cost of an electric vehicle, the average electric vehicle, is going to be cut in half. And Tesla's new block manufacturing techniques and technology, along with AI, are a big part of this.
How much, and you've been buying on this weakness.
Cathie Wood is indeed doubling down on her Tesla stock position. She just purchased quite a bit more than usual, $40 million worth of Tesla stock. And perhaps most importantly and most interestingly, she sold NVIDIA to buy Tesla stock. There's no arguing that Cathie Wood for sure definitely is actually bullish. Is Cathie Wood right though about consumer demand, specifically about autos? Ford just reported its total sales, and year over year it is actually up in Q1 by 6.8%. However, sales of GM in the US decreased by 1.5% year over year. So to some degree, Cathie Wood does have a point, and US Q1 auto sales are up nearly 5% year over year despite high interest rates, but EV growth was actually negative. The EV market share in Q1 of this year was 7.1% compared to 7.6% last year.
As we were selling when it was around 400 and 350, when it's been cut in half, down 60%, is not the time to run for the hills. If you believe Tesla is going to be, in this we also believe, the autonomous taxi network, certainly of the United States.
Right now, people are starting to think about Tesla again as a car company. I mean, I think that's what part of what's happened here in terms of the valuation cut. There's been people who said at one point, oh, this is a tech company, right? This is an AI company. This is all sorts of things. And then there were always these bears saying, well, actually, guys, it's not that at all. It's a car company. Now, some people are saying, well, maybe it's a car company. What is it? And how, for the valuation to sustain itself and actually to move higher, does it have to be what you just talked about, a robo-taxi company, a AI company, and all of the above?
It epitomizes the convergence among technologies that we are seeing today. And the robo-taxi network is not an if, it's a when. It's already happening. Waymo is out there, you know, proof of concept. So it is going to happen. And if you've tried version 12.3 FSD, you'll see that Tesla...
This is the full self-driving mode that we should say is not fully self-driving just yet.
Correct. But if you drive, if using it, you will find that it is becoming... more precise, but also a little more aggressive, like a human being would be, instead of this, you know, more cautious. So I think we're getting there. Yes.
2 hours ago, we had some important news related to Tesla's FSD. Tesla's computer vision chief, Ethan Knight, has left Tesla and joined Elon Musk's xAI company. Now, when I first saw this, I was not happy. But there is some very important context, which makes it actually not a bad thing. Ethan was going to join OpenAI, So it was either xAI or them. They have been aggressively recruiting Tesla engineers with massive compensation offers and have unfortunately been successful in a few cases. Now, why do you think OpenAI is recruiting Tesla's engineers? Maybe it's because Tesla has some of the world's best engineers, because they are giving them massive compensation offers. When your company is not worth over $500 billion in market cap, it is easier to entice people to join your company by giving them stock options. It is much easier to 10x a company worth $100 billion than it is to 10x a company worth $500 billion. So the fact that most of Tesla's engineers are staying says a lot about what they think is going to happen with Tesla's FSD. This could also mean a few things. Number one, Ethan looked at where Tesla is right now, and he basically said, well, look, my job here is basically over. Tesla is pursuing the vision approach, and it has made a big change recently, and now all it needs is just more data and other people can do my job. So in that sense, it could be bullish. But on the flip side, it could also say that, well, Tesla is not solving FSD this year, at least maybe Ethan does not believe that, and therefore he decided to leave. Or he just really wanted to make a lot more money quicker. Tesla does not pay the highest salaries, so maybe he is going to get paid quite a bit more at xAI. And in terms of valuation, xAI is fairly small. I think it's not going to be all that difficult to 20x the valuation of xAI. And a good engineer will make very direct impact on xAI's valuation, whereas with Tesla, it's such a big company and it has so many great engineers that it is difficult for one engineer to make direct impact when it comes to Tesla's valuation. However, Ashok, who is in charge of AI at Tesla, is not going anywhere. And check out this clip from Dave Mack.
Wow, okay. Car actually drove up on the curve because that truck literally was coming at me. Wow.
With regular programming, if this happens to this, programming something like this would be almost impossible because you don't want the car to hit the curb, but in this case, it had to avoid a crash. This is what I mean. FSD V12 is incredible compared to V11. If you haven't tried it yourself yet, I highly recommend that you do so.
But it epitomizes three technologies: robotics. These cars are and will be robots. And of course, he's got the whole humanoid robot going as well. Energy storage. Autos in the future will be electric. We believe in 5 years, 75% to 85% of all sales will be electric. Here in the United States and around the world.
Even with the pullback that we've had in terms of EVs and the adoption.
Think about this. Yes, because if we're right on what's going to happen to auto prices, the average EV will be in the $20,000 to $25,000 range. The average gas-powered car will be about where it is right now, or a little more.
When you have the GMs and the Fords and everybody else saying we can't even make these things profitably to begin with, let alone to do it at half the price.
And just think about this. Tesla's doing it profitably and cutting prices in the process. It's pretty phenomenal.
There's still a lot of room for EVs to get cheaper, but there's no room for gas-powered vehicles to really get significantly cheaper. And anyone who owns an EV, as long as you can charge at home or at work, it's so much better, unless you need to go on very frequent, extremely long road trips. But we know that charging speeds are improving, and eventually, I believe, you'll be able to charge in 5 minutes up to 80%. So it will basically be just as fast or as slow as filling up a gas-powered vehicle. Eventually, that will happen. And with that, the last excuse to not own an EV will be gone, and EV adoption will soar.
Can I just go the convergence idea? I have one more. Robots, energy storage, they will be electric, 75, 85% in 5 years. And then artificial intelligence. This is the biggest AI project in the world. If NVIDIA is worth what it's worth, and we believe it's worth what the market's paying for. We think it's going to have an inventory correction out there. It happens regularly. Okay. You know, we've been through very many inventory cycles. I have over the years with NVIDIA. So definitely going to see an inventory cycle as companies reassess, okay, wait, how do we get ready for this AI age? And there is a reassessment process. We're going through it ourselves. But If NVIDIA is, if its valuation is correct, this AI project has to work.
What is Tesla worth? If you were willing to sell it at $300 or $400 and you're buying it now, what is it worth in 5 years?
$2,000. We're in print on that.
$2,000.
Yes.
Let me ask you another.
And think about that. It's down 60%. This reminds me very much of 2018-19. We're in a bit of a trading range, and we will be until more and more analysts, investors understand how provocative the convergence of these three technologies is going to be.
Other analysts will only realize that once these technologies will actually show up in Tesla's earnings. So with FSD, I don't think any analyst will seriously think that FSD is going to make a lot of money until that will be reflected in Tesla's earnings in terms of FSD take rate, or Tesla would have to announce that from today going forward, it turns out driving on FSD without human supervision, no human supervision, FSD is actually safer than human driving, and we take full responsibility of any crashes. If Tesla says that, then I think Wall Street and analysts will recognize how much FSD will earn for Tesla in the long term. My crystal ball does not tell me if Tesla stock is going back to $100, but it is telling me that looking back from 2034, this will have turned out to be an incredible buying opportunity. So that's why I keep holding Tesla stock.
When you think about the Magnificent Seven, a lot of people have taken Magnificent Seven and now called it the Fabulous Four or the something else, but Tesla's not in it anymore.
Right.
Is that the right way to think about it? What does your Magnificent Seven look like today? I always think about your fund as a lot of the Magnificent Seven.
Not really. We have actually, if you look at the overlap of our fund with the NASDAQ or the S&P 500, very little overlap, maybe 5%. Tesla, Meta Platforms. We think AI could be quite disruptive. There are other disruptive forces taking place that could dislodge some of the Mag 6. I mean, the GPT-4, for example. I don't have to go through Google anymore. I can just say, take me to a place where I can buy these shoes at the cheapest price for delivery, free delivery, in 2 days. You know, that's disintermediation. That's technology at work.
I agree with Jason here. We absolutely have to get Elon 25% ownership of Tesla soon. What the Delaware Accord did to Elon boils my blood. I don't think people understand how urgent of a situation this is to get straightened out. All the drama around Q1 deliveries means very little to me. It was a difficult quarter for everyone. Fine, done. But Elon's stolen compensation package is a far more dire situation. Or what would be bullish to me is Tesla buying a piece of xAI. I would be so happy with that.